What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be continuing the volume reviews for My Hero Academia. Today we have volumes 9 and 10, so let's just get straight into it. We'll start off with volume 9, of course. Fantastic cover as well. This is probably one of my favourite in the series, second or third. I just like the purple and the way that the white's kind of shining through here on the back, and Tokiyama is really realistic as well. Just everything about this cover is really nice. One of the best in the series, and continuing with Horikoshi's art within the volume itself, as usual, just fantastic art from him. But I actually think it takes it a step beyond in some of the art in this volume in particular. During the muscular Deku fight specifically, there's just some fantastic art, and he's very clear and coherent with through his fights. You can see exactly what's happening, and also he has some fantastic double page spreads between chapters. This is a perfect example of that. This is actually a poster that I have in colour. But yeah, this is a fantastic piece of artwork here. And just there's a drawing later of when Tokiyama lets Dark Shadow possess him later in the volume here, which I just think is fantastic. So he shows the extent of his quality of art in this volume, and I think it goes beyond what I expected it could do. So that's quite cool and interesting, but as usual the artwork is just really good. I always enjoy it, and to see Horikoshi progress through his art, and as he kind of gets familiarised himself with the My Hero characters, he gets better at drawing them, and obviously as the series progresses his art will get better, as it does with most mangaka. No mangaka really stays stagnant in one spot. As they get more familiar with drawing the characters and find it easier to do so, they obviously give themselves more time to put detail into the characters and the fights themselves. So that's obviously a good thing. I think Horikoshi's growing into the series really well. I think he's definitely improved his artwork from volume 1. So yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on in terms of artwork. Just one of the clearest and coherent through his art, I believe. So yeah, story wise, I think that this forest arc is one of the best in the series. I really like the way that it progresses through this muscular fight, and I'd say it ends when All For One and All Might fight as well. Some people would argue that that is a separate arc from this, but I like to just say that volumes 9 through 11 are just one arc, because I believe that just a one and a half volume arc is just too short. I also like how progression is given to other characters like Shoji, and even some class 1B characters like Tetsu and Kendo. That's obviously something that I enjoy. I like that Horikoshi hasn't just forgotten that he's basically made a class full of characters and kind of put them to the side. And obviously that happens even later, where 1A, 1B fight, which is much later in the series. But that's always something that shows he's giving care not just to his main characters or his protagonist, and not even just to his main class. He's also branching out and giving love to characters that he's introduced and wants to show a bit more of. So I think that's quite cool, and I like when a manga doesn't just forget about all the characters he's written into the series. Otherwise there'd be no point of even introducing them. So obviously, while I would want to see Tetsu become a main character, because we've obviously got someone very similar in Kirishima, which I'd say everyone prefers, it's still nice to see that he's within the series, and although that might be the best thing he does for the whole series, at least he's had a bit of progression. Another thing which I think is quite cool, although the villains are attacking here, which isn't anything new to the series, obviously they attack the USJ, you can kind of see how Shigaraki and the League of Villains have progressed as an entity, as the first time they attack they're kind of just making their presence known, because they just pick up a bunch of random villains from the streets, and they don't really ask about quirks or anything. They kind of just pick them up and say, we're going to the USJ to attack. Whereas you can kind of see their progression and how they're evolving in their schemes with the people that they're employing, because now they've got a lot stronger characters and villains to attack here at the forest. That just kind of goes along with the fact that they needed some of the heroes or some of the students, like Bakugo for example, in kind of an attempt to break the spirits of characters like All Might. So I think that that's quite cool. You can see that because they've got bigger fish to fry now, they've employed stronger people, because you can also see the progression in characters like Deku, because in the USJ while he fights, he doesn't really put too much strain on his body. But now he can use his quirk. It's probably even tougher for him than it was at the USJ when he couldn't use his quirk, which shows the extent of quality that the villain he's fighting is. Obviously, before he was fighting some random thugs that weren't really much to the series. Now he's fighting a main villain in the Muscular. So I like the way the Horikoshi kind of scales his levels of power. And the only one problem that I'd say, which is just like a minute little thing, is the 1,000,000%. Because obviously Horikoshi has to explain in a between chapter page that the 1,000,000% was obviously not real, and it was just kind of like something to show his inner anger or his inner want to help people. So I kind of think it could have been handled a bit better. I think if a manga has to explain what they're trying to do between chapters, something like this, but it says about the 1,000,000%, I think. Yeah, so if mangas have to explain what they're doing, I don't think it's as concerning as Izuku's smash. So yeah, he does say that he's going to try and change that in the future, because I do think that it wasn't handled the best, and I do think if a manga has to explain what they're trying to do between chapters, it means that they weren't kind of thorough enough in their explanation, and I don't think they should have to do that through like mid-chapter things. So and hopefully like he just becomes a bit more fluent with what he's trying to explain further on in the series. But I mean, that's just one little nitpick that I have about the volume. Other than that, everything else in it is fantastic, and that translates into volume 10 very well. Volume 10 continues that very well. It leaves off from Bakugo getting taken, and another thing that I like is that Horikoshi defies kind of the odds of what's traditional in a superhero series. You'd obviously think that they would get Bakugo back and save him, but obviously that's not what happens, and he actually gets taken, which is, I'd say, very surprising. I also like this little hint to a possible brother relationship between these two. Obviously nothing's been confirmed yet, but there's heavy speculation they are brothers, something that I'd obviously like to see. Todoroki's my favourite character. But yeah, I like the heavy speculation here. I like how Horikoshi kind of throws little ideas here and there, but doesn't like outright say them, otherwise it'd just be boring if he's explaining every little secret in the series. But he kind of like hints at them here and there. But yeah, he gets taken, and I don't know if this stay back Deku can be interpreted as either Bakugo saying he just wants to save himself, or actually caring for the well-being of other people. Obviously that can be either way, but I don't know, I choose to believe that I think he actually does genuinely care about the well-being of Deku, and that's why he tells him to stay back. But obviously that could be interpreted a different way, and I kind of like when mangas leave certain things open to interpretation. But yeah, so this arc, the rest of this volume is kind of just a build up to a fantastic final fight. But something that I have touched on with the series before is Horikoshi's ability to keep you interested even between the fights with his quality of conversation. Now there's something that happens later on in the series after the next arc, with two conversations that are really fantastic, and when it comes to them I will talk about them, and have a great double page spread here as well. But yeah, so most of this is just build up, kind of Deku trying to come to terms with what he's done, because in his own mind he thinks he's at fault for Bakugo getting taken, of course, even though there's nothing he can really do about it. But because he fell over, because he broke his arms and stuff, he just really sees himself as not strong enough, and that's the reason he needs to go save him. So I kind of like how just through Bakugo getting taken you can see the behaviour of everyone in 1A. I think that everyone kind of, the way that everyone reacts to it is very akin to how their characters should do. Like Uraraka saying that it's a bad idea to go and save him because it's not what he would have wanted. He wouldn't want them to go and save him because it would show him as weak, and that's just something that is how Bakugo would see it. So I think and that's how Uraraka would, I'd say, react to it. So I think that's done. And Asui saying, if you go, you're just as bad as the villains because you're not following the law and the orders. And obviously Ida saying the same kind of thing, but going to protect his friends. So I think everybody reacts as they should, and obviously the biggest person that is there to save him is obviously Kirishima, the only real friend that he's made as the series has progressed. So I think that that it should, just everyone reacts perfectly to their characters, and Kirishima being the one that kind of starts this rebellion to go and save him just further shows like how his character is. And I just think that the rest of this volume is just good build up, nothing too much to say about in particular. And Bakugo's reaction to the League of Villains, I think, is something that's kind of important to touch on, as he reacts in a way that I would expect him to, and it shows how he actually does really want to become a hero, although his personality and the way he acts may not seem like it. Being a hero and becoming similar to All Might, it's a goal that he's always felt in his heart and something that he wants to do, and the way he reacts to the villains shows that perfectly. But obviously the main thing comes at the end of this volume, and honestly the one thing that I have to say is if I actually bought this when it came out and I had to wait 2 months to read volume 11, I don't even know, it would have been terrible, because the way this volume ends with the introduction of All For One, who is definitely the biggest villain, the main villain up until this point, and All Might clashing, is fantastic. I think that it's a perfect end to a volume. I think this is probably the best ending to a volume of manga that I've read, just simply because this is how you want to end your volumes, with this amount of hype and suspense. It's just done really well, and the conclusion in volume 11, the fight, best in the series by far, and definitely something that Horikoshi gets right. So I'm very excited to review both volume 11 and 12 as we come into the end of this arc and the beginning of the provisional license exams. But other than that, hopefully you guys had a great day, and peace.